Welcome to the Jamodi podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. Coaches, the Jamodi podcast is powered by Shoot 360. The future of basketball has arrived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Shoot 360 combines the latest sports technology with the fundamentals of basketball skill development. The result is a one-of-a-kind video game-like basketball program designed to improve your shooting, dribbling, and passing. Visit shoot360dfw.com to learn more and register for your free 1-hour workout evaluation. Shoot 360, the future of basketball is here. I would imagine you can get almost kind of like what Shaka Smart had at VCU, kind of those guys that a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Maybe they were overlooked, but that you can see that they've got something, and then they come into your style, which is typically built on, in my opinion, taking chances, coming from not behind in the game like score-wise, but behind in the possession. Because you said something interesting. I wanted to go back to it about you need the guy. I think you maybe used the Cobra terminology, but you needed the guy on the ball to get beat. Like that's different right there, because majority of defenses are based on no one gets beat.
Yeah, right.
So can you go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, we always talk about getting beat, especially with the new rules. The rules are so predicated on the offensive player that it's already very difficult to keep anybody in front of you, really, especially at this level, at the college level. And so it's more of a mental and it's approach to it, because it's funny how mental words and terminology and just different usage, but you're still getting the same outcome, affects a student athlete these days. So we talk about getting beat, and the way we get beat is pretty much filtering and funneling to where our rotations and our ability to do what we do at a high level. Because again, we're guarding 94 feet. I don't know. I don't even know what the square footage is as the whole entire court, but that's a lot of foot to cover. And so if we can encourage it and allow it to happen, it's a lot easier to press. If people beat us pretty handily, and it hadn't been a lot of them, mainly Division I levels, because they pass the ball. And the more we ball pressure, the more people try to put it on the floor. So the tighter you are, you're probably most likely going to beat. I don't know anybody that can stop the ball all the time if the offensive player is halfway decent.
Yeah.
So we're in your stuff, 94 feet, make some misses, making you bounce, because most people bounce. And nowadays, as you can see all the videos, and they'll bounce 19 times in the same spot. That's really good for us.
That's right. You're just good doing this, going, keep working that skill work right there.
But on the flip side, my players watch the same videos and they want to do the same thing. So we talk about that. But we want them to bounce and beat us and ride their hips into a trap.
I think you had a golden nugget there, that no matter what style of play a coach has their team running, the terminology, the expectations that you have, it has to fit. So if you're a pressing coach, but you're getting mad at your guys for getting beat, for taking chances, for missing things, it's going to hold them back. If you want to run and gun and shoot a lot of threes, but you're getting upset with multiple misses in a row, it's going to erode the confidence that they have in the system or taking chances what you want. So you teaching them how are we going to handle it when I want you to get beat and you do, this is what we want them to do. How do we handle what? I think that's really good. And I would think a lot of coaches, not without even realizing it, are yelling out things that are going against what they're asking their players to do.
Yeah, defense. I've had some really good on-ball defenders. Like one of the years, I've coached a guy that has still got the nation's leading steals in a game. He beat Mookie Boylock. I think Mookie had the record was 11 for a long time. This dude had 14 in one game.
Wow.
I've had some guys that can guard, and they still can't keep it in front. I tell my shooters all the time, like it ain't going in if you don't shoot it. Like Steph Curry, he's probably one of the best shooters ever. Ray Allen, people like that, they miss.
Yeah.
So I just flip the same concept on defense. You're not going to keep people in front of you like that. So with that being said, and with the new rules that are adjusting, we're going to allow it this way, but not this way. So at least you're not putting so much pressure on the defense that you still got to put pressure on them as
Yeah.
far as the defender's mentality is it is, but at least he knows, okay, I can at least take this away, but now we're bouncing and I'm getting beat this way.
Let's switch gears a little bit to now we learned about what makes a program difference with the defensive side, but you've also been able to, you're ranked 6th in the country. One season, was it last season where you had 333 makes, or was that a previous one?
That might have been last season.
Yeah.
My first season here was a lot of makes, and last year was a lot of makes.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be 6th in the country, 333 threes made, that's a lot. A lot of coaches the teams never get near that many. And so how do you contrast that style, or how does pressing lead into the thought process with your offense?
I kind of negotiate with my players. If I can get defense, you can have offense. So if you do all this that I'm asking, because it's super difficult, then you're going to have a lot more freedom than any coach probably in America would give you, until you prove to me you can't handle it. And so most coaches, you got to earn that leash. A little bit, let you out a little bit. You do a little thing, some good things consistently, then you let it out a little more, and so forth. And I'm the opposite. I kind of let it go and then reel it in. I think they take to that. They enjoy that. Because most people want to play offense anyways, and then obviously you got to recruit dudes that can shoot it.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not the best. I can shoot it, but I can't make these dudes shooters overnight. Yeah. So you got to get players that can actually shoot that thing too. I had one player in 52% from three last year. I had a few in the mid 40s and a lot 37 plus. 37 is kind of we have a red light, green light, yellow light. 37 plus is the ultimate green light. 30 to 37 is the yellow light, and below 30% is almost a red light.
Will you teach that game real quick?
Just on percentages. What kind of shooter you are.
Okay.
So we do it on the fly. So that's we'll yell out red light or yellow light, you're green light. And said you're not. If I tell you you're a non-shooter, you can't shoot. Your mental is going to be one way. But if I say red light, you don't think as the same.
Yeah.
And you can change lights too. You're not just stuck in that realm. So it's just different ways to talk. It's different ways to motivate. It's different ways to get a point across. But ultimately, you're saying the same thing.
So yeah, and I misunderstood. So not a game. That's not a game that you play, because we have a game green, yellow, red. But you're taking their percentages throughout the season, and based on the work that they've done, they either, like you said, they get more. Green light, I would imagine that's pretty fun to play for you. Yellow, you have a short lease. Red, a real short lease.
Yeah. There's a couple of times where my 50+% shooters, I'll sub them for not shooting, and I kind of joke around with it and mess with it a little bit, and then I'll put them immediately right back in. Like, because I want to prove a point that your job is to shoot, and a lot of people can't shoot 50-some% from the field goal, and you're shooting that from the three. So if you got wide open looks and you turn it down, there's a problem. We don't get very few people get good looks all the time. Yeah. And if you're shooting like that and somebody's playing off of you, you better enjoy it, because somebody that does a scout report, you probably won't get too many looks.
To that point, when Duncan Robinson was in the G League, they told him they wouldn't allow him to move up to the NBA, or wouldn't even get a chance until he could take 12 threes in a game. Not a certain percentage, but actually take them. Because to your point, I don't think people realize how hard it is to actually shoot a high number of shots mentally, but then just the act of getting open and finding your way, that's challenging.
So in our practices, we do a lot of full court sprints into shots, footwork, within our style, because we have a transition primary, secondary, just traditional basketball. and then we all flow into a 5-out offense. And it's just ball screen continuity that everybody's starting to run a little bit, and we have a lot of tweaks to it. We're very, very simple to scout, but hard to play against.
Love that.
So we don't run much, and what we run is pretty repetitious, but we have wrinkles within it. We got some quick hitters, but for the most part, we're a 5-out ball screen motion and read and react, and you got to guard a ball screen somehow. And there's a lot of ways to guard a ball screen. We trap every single ball screen. So again, we take all the thinking out defensively for you, because it's already difficult. And then offensively, you're reading and spacing and, playing you until, like I said, you can't handle that.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.